Yo, 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 what's up? We are back. It is the 2020 podcast. Aaron the Rapper.
Snow God.
Snow God. Data Crib. That's my name.
Don't wear it out. Just the trio today. Lost got lost.
Indeed. Couldn't make it today.
Couldn't make it today.
Yeah, he hit me up to slide, and I was like, "Get lost, kid."
Ouch.
He's like, "I can't do that." And I was like,
He was
"You
never
can do
really
it, kinda."
lost.
We're funny.
Deep.
Funny as fuck.
Always, always. So let's start with a common topic that we've been pushing on the podcast. This big three beef has kind of
Who?
escalated to a new level.
Who?
The big three, you know, Madonna, the Beatles,
knows.
and Drake.
Oh, sick.
Hell yeah.
I thought they were dead.
Well, I mean, the Beatles are dead. Madonna's still alive.
Nice.
Yeah. No, of course I'm talking about our boy Kenny Lamar, Kung Fu
Lamar,
Kenny.
Jermaine Cole, Aubrey Graham Cracker.
all
lines.
right, Rick Ross.
That's what Charlamagne said on the Breakfast
Oh, yeah.
Club. He was like,
Graham
Aubrey
Cracker,
Graham
huh?
Cracker.
Damn.
That was sick, yeah.
Yeah, I'm.
Let's go chronologically, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I was
You
just
wanna-
thinking that.
Yeah,
Lead us off. All right.
So last episode, Logan talked about how he was at the gym, hitting his legs. Heard like that.
Indeed.
You know, the Kendrick shot heard around the world.
Bang.
This
Bang,
is
bang.
something that happened on the podcast. If you haven't seen last episode.
Continuity. So J. Cole responded like a week later, like a couple weeks, something like that. And so 7-Minute Drill came out. What were your guys' immediate reactions to 7-Minute Drill? A 4-minute song, by the way.
A little spite in there. All
A
right.
little bit.
I mean, it was a nice little jab. It wasn't anything like super special, but it was nice just to see that energy tossed back again. Like, you know, we were talking about pre-pod. It's just we needed kind of a shakeup. So it was nice to just not let that fly by and have people who are as big as these stars are
I feel
get into a kind of a squabble. It was a nice jab. There were some nice lines here. There were some other lines where you're like, okay.
Yeah, like calling
Yeah.
T-Pap boring when you literally copied it. the
Yeah,
aesthetic.
in retrospect, yes.
But it was. I was honestly surprised to hear a response from J. Cole in the first place.
Yeah, especially, the first comeback being from J. Cole is just like kind of wild because, I mean, he just kind of cut off a stray off of what Kenny was saying to Drake.
Yeah, right.
It seemed like in 7-Minute Drill, he was just mainly talking about some violence, and then he gets on stage talking about he doesn't promote violence, and
Yes. Days later, he said that's the most goofiest, some of the lamest shit I ever did in my life. And then he's at his own festival. He's like, who here thinks Kendrick's one of the greatest of all time?
But in the song, talking about kidnapping and shooting him and shit, like, like, come on, man.
That's just that.
That drill talk.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear any apologies whatsoever. Why the fuck would you do that?
Yeah, I think
Honestly.
the apology was unnecessary.
Call Kendrick privately and do it.
Yeah.
Don't make it a public thing, first of all, because
That's so true.
yeah.
Or like
some
at your
bullshit.
own show, you could do it on like Instagram Live is more respectable. He's just like, let me pause my show
Either
and
way, to
apologize
make-
to Kendrick.
I feel what Aaron's saying though, because like either way to make it a publicity thing,
Yeah, I
like
feel you.
it's really lame. It's like if you really felt some type of way, you should have hit him personally.
I feel you.
Yeah. I mean that goes. I felt the same way when Macklemore did the shit about the
Yeah.
fucking Grammys. Like, just
Exactly.
fucking, it's private. It does not need to be a fucking public discussion.
Yeah, I
You
feel you.
did what you did. You both know fucking how either of you guys feel about it. Fucking have a conversation with each other like real people instead of being
Make a
these,
collab album.
you know, superstars that you are. Like, you don't have a fucking cell phone. You can't fucking
Exactly.
get his number and reach out. I don't know. That just kind of irked me. And like, if it doesn't sit right with your spirit, cool, whatever. I understand shit not sitting right with your spirit sometimes and having to fucking say something. But again, it doesn't need to be a fucking
Yeah.
big, huge public ordeal. Fucking
And to be fair, we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. He could have apologized to Kendrick
Yeah.
first, like personally.
It's fair.
Although, like, I think it just kind of proves Kendrick's point. It's just Big Me. It's it. Like, these motherfuckers regretting their decisions when they go at me.
Oh, and I saw those, some of Kendrick's old lines kind of resurfaced that were applicable to this, you know, like, and when you hit me, don't you just tell me, okay, Dot, I was just playing.
Nah, I was playing, kid.
Yeah.
Come on, you know I fuck with you, bro.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. You sound yeah. That's
Uh,
so fitting. Or like how J. Cole's like, I was conflicted. Like I was up all night and like T-Pap the poem. I remember you was conflicted.
Yeah.
Misusing your influence. Sometimes I did the same. Like, have you seen those memes about that?
I haven't seen.
They're great.
I'm sure they are. Fucking, yeah. I don't know. That was just a corny move, but whatever. He's a grown man. He's able to make his own decisions
Whatever helps
and
you
whatnot.
sleep at night, you know.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
he
mean, he
was
was talking
really
about how
eating
he
at
almost
him.
relapsed and shit. Like, it's not that deep.
I feel you. You chose to make the fucking diss. You said you were conflicted. You could have chose peace.
I was watching the Rory and Maul podcast. Shout out to Rory and Maul.
Shouts out.
Huge fans. And they kind of had a point that I thought was pretty valid. It's like maybe he got into the ring before he really knew that it was a gunfight. He thought it was just gonna be a boxing match, and it's like, no, both sides are fucking loaded up and ready to fucking pop off at the slightest inconvenience and throw dirt on you. You know, they want to bury you.
Mhm.
I think he might have had the misconception that this was like, it's a sparring match, you know, both of us are going to come out unscathed, and I don't think Kendrick and Drake are on that playing
Nah.
field. They are
Not be
reaching to tear
fucking-
down each other as people, which is like crazy.
Yeah,
I feel you.
that's just a lot deeper than just some lyrical sparring.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, a few days ago, right? About 4-something days ago,
I think so.
Drake had somebody leak his song, which
Right.
is kind of lame in itself.
He probably leaked it himself.
Yeah, but
Yeah, notorious for the OVO leaks.
he came back with some heat. He was very disrespectful. Very disrespectful.
I love that it wasn't this. I feel like was Drake's warning shot. As I've said before, like he keeps saying, "I have this red button. I have this information that'll change the landscape," and this is just like, hey, this is just the start of things I know about. You know, all of the people he was going. You know, Rick Ross, fucking
The Weeknd.
yeah, Weekend, fucking just
He knows that Kendrick wears a size 7, allegedly.
Can't big
No.
step with a size 7 man's on. Gotta have a 10 at least.
How would
The
you
song's
feel?
a
if some-
vibe though. I don't know. It's classic Drake energy, and he had some nice bars for what he was going for. I'll give him that. Kendrick's gonna have to respond with some heat.
The fucking sass from Drizzy.
Yes.
The sass master.
Don't make me chip and nail.
That Metro Boomin line though.
Drizzy,
Yeah.
Chippendale, probably got your bitch Chanel. You guys know what Chippendale is?
I'm not familiar.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I
yeah.
think it's like a cartoon, right?
Yeah, I guess. But it's like male strippers. Like
I thought it
I
was like
see.
some kids show.
Chippendale are the name of like the rescuers. I think that's who they are. But yeah, the little chipmunk people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I was
But
picturing.
they're also male strippers.
But Chippendales
I
is
did not know that.
like a like a male stripping service, or I don't want to call it an escort
see.
service, but
That would be illegal.
Not everywhere. But
Fair.
I support sex work, by the way, for the record. What do you think he meant by that? By that line?
He's just trying to call
I'm-
himself a pimp, basically.
yeah, I'm sexy and yeah, I got my lipo-sculpted body, and I can
Yeah,
buy your bitch Chanel, top of the line shit that
Period.
some of you guys might not be able to afford her.
Yeah. Capitalist Drake, back at it again.
Yeah, hopping in fucking people's wives' DMs and shit.
He
She-
said Kendrick's wife's name. His significant other's name.
Yeah.
We saw what happened last time he did
Yeah, I
that.
feel you.
Pusha T. Shout out to Pusha T. Where the fuck is he?
Where's Pusha T? The
Right.
day needs saving.
He just all he would have to do is just like post the story of Adidon again on his Twitter, and it would just be like, oh yeah.
I don't know. We know that he has a kid now. That was the big bomb of the fucking.
For me, it was more the blackface thing, man. You know,
That's fair.
Yeah. That is a fucking not a
not
a good look at all. Yeah.
No,
I mean, he had a response for it, saying that it was, part of some anti-racism campaigning or some bullshit. I don't remember what he said, but yeah, not a good look to willingly go blackface, especially when you got that little bit of tinge of white in you.
Yeah, and like you're already one of the major critiques of Drake is like his performance of what he perceives blackness to be.
Yeah, and not to fucking have it a write-off, but again, this is a young man before he really knew fucking the weight of
Fair.
what it was going to be or who he was going to be, even in society,
It's
I'm
fair.
sure it,
Yeah.
however, I think he was like 19 or something in that photo campaign. You don't know the weight of what you're doing until you get older, which sucks, but it has to be sort of a grace that you show people, not to fucking write off blackface at all, because it's extremely fucking horrible and you should
Fuck
never fucking do it.
blackface.
Yeah.
Just be a good person. Then things like that won't happen.
Yeah.
But I think what Aaron's trying to say is
I get it.
everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah.
Everybody has those days.
Insert Miley Cyrus's face.
Why
Shout out to
the
Miley
long
Cyrus.
face?
Straight up. Yeah.
Rick Ross responded.
Rick Ross did respond, fucking what, 2 hours later after the
Yes.
disc drop?
He went in that bitch and freestyled the verse. He said, "Here's everything that I've been thinking about."
And then he started calling him a cracker.
Maybe
Yeah.
Rick Ross
Cracker
leaked
boy.
the shit.
Little Cracker Jack Drake. Little Cupcake Drake. I was dying.
I was dying too. It was hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Cause he's like, oh man, he's just like, Drake, I knew you when you were a kid, bro. So like hearing you talk all this tough shit is crazy to me. But then I wonder, I'm like, who's to say? Who's to say Drake hasn't evolved as a person? You know what I mean? Hey man, that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, that's all you can hope for is people is that they evolve from, points where they were previously.
Shit, I know I have.
Yep.
If I was held accountable for the way I was when I was 19.
Same. I there's lots of shit in my life that I'm sure if it was fucking, like my days in fucking Aurora when I was I was outside for real.
Mhm.
You delinquent.
I feel bad about that shit. So I can only imagine
Yeah,
the
for-
perception of what it would be,
Right.
So yeah, you gotta show grace and like, back to this fucking Rick Ross fucking reply and whatnot. I loved that, after fucking Rick Ross was all in his story calling him Cupcake Drake and Cracker and shit, Drake was DMing him shit,
Yeah.
Just feeling
posting
the fire.
DMs between, Drake's mom and Drake himself, like, why is Rick Ross mad? He's like, he just hasn't had a meal in a
Yeah.
while.
He's just hungry.
He's hungry. You're not yourself when you're not you when you're hungry. The little Snickers slogan.
It's just funny though, because like, think about the parallels between like our last presidential debates and the discourse between these rappers when they're beefing. It's like fat
That's fair.
shaming. You're gay. You're ugly. You're stupid.
You live sandwiched in between two lots. You live in a content creator home. Rick Ross. Fucking just nuts.
It is silly. It is very silly. Very
I
People
fun.
be silly.
Yeah, you gotta be silly. And I can't lie. I love some grown men being spicy with each other,
Yeah.
The rap game has been boring for a while. Like, it's just something, I don't know.
It's been super fucking boring. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
We needed something that just like came and cracked the concrete. Shit was getting stale. We needed something
Yeah.
that could let something new rise to the surface.
100%. It's been 5 years, 6 years since the last time hip hop was popping, when we had the SoundCloud era. You know what I'm saying? We had Juice X, Trippy was popping, Uzi was
The good
popping.
days.
Yeah. We had artists who were up and coming, and now we just have a bunch of artists.
A bunch of
Yeah.
artists who have been there and will continue to be in that
The same sound.
position.
Usually there's groups that, there was like Big Sean,
Hell yeah.
Cole,
Odd Future.
Drake, yeah. Just people who were like, okay, this is a good generation of artists. This has been a generation of artists, Jay-Z, Eminem, Kanye, people like that. But there's not really a
Yeah.
decipherable generation this time. It's kind of
Mhm.
weird.
The 2020 rap game culture, hip hop might be dying.
Unfortunately, the same way that like the heyday of the rock and roll era ended towards the 90s when hip hop came in, I think hip hop is in its final phase in
Yeah.
terms of
The way I
The
kind of
main
look
sound.
at it, it's kind of like how rock started is like some mellow shit, and then it evolved to heavy metal, and now heavy metal kind of evolved to like almost like hard ass EDM. It's like hip hop started with like boom bap, and then it went to some faster, more cloudy shit, like futuristic shit, and now there's rappers like Yeet and Destroy, Lonely, and shit like that, where it's basically just like synth EDM.
yeah, it's kind of transcended what hip hop is, what it meant, why it was created.
I think, honestly, and this is just my train of thought, I think hip hop is a very,
Loose term.
well, kind of. What I'm going for is like it's a very accepting and easy genre to get into.
Yeah.
More people are like willing to listen to you for some reason if you're a hip hop artist. And I feel like a lot of artists come in through that lane, but then find like after their first project, I might switch over to an alternative sound, or I think
fair.
I'm going for more of a punk sound, and I think we've seen it happen from like a lot of these artists now. I mean, even artists who have been established in the game are starting to
Do some
diverge
shit.
from
true.
hip hop.
I mean,
Yeah.
Just look at everyone's reaction when Lil Yachty had a band make him a psychedelic album.
Yeah, right. I mean, once they get in and establish themselves, they have a fan base. They have
Yeah.
people who are going to come back and listen to their music, so they can go off and
It's true.
do what they want to do. These weird adventures that weren't going to grip people at first, but when you fucking release them, like Yachty did, people are like, "This is a masterpiece. This is great." Which
I feel
a
you.
lot of great music is, but it's not the shit that grabs your attention at first. It's hard to grab people's attention and then hold it for a long time.
I agree. I think a lot of that has to do like just with how long hip hop has been the most popular sound. I think a lot of people like the millennials, like there's been generations that like that's been like the majority of music.
I'd
heard.
say this generation is probably the majority is rap and hip hop.
Right. And so like I think that people are just kind of like bored, you know?
It's fair.
Yeah, it makes sense, especially when we have a bunch of artists who haven't been really doing anything up until this point now.
Yeah, where they're fighting.
Right,
And-
right. Yeah, and it took.
And honestly, I blame Drake for a lot of that, you know?
Yeah.
Because ever since Views, shit was mid. And like his recent Scary Hours Deluxe, that was good, right? But like when you have like the Michael Jackson of our time, self-proclaimed, and they're not innovating,
Yeah.
they're doing the status quo. They are the
That's my
status
thoughts,
quo.
Exactly.
You're not gonna have an evolution in that sound,
Yeah.
you know?
There's agreement to that statement. There's also some resistance to it. I mean, when a candle, the flame that burns brightest also burns out the quickest,
Mm.
You can be a trailblazer and look at how much shit he did change on his come up until Views,
It's valid.
or even, a few projects after that. I would even argue to say Scorpion, if you go back, has kind of aged a little better than when it came out, especially with his recent
That's true.
endeavors.
But would it have aged better if his recent shit wasn't ass? You know? Like if he
No, probably not. But back to what I was saying, it's like I don't think he's in a mind state where he thinks he has to push the bar anymore. You know, he has the bar set and he's hanging off of it basically until he drops and
I
he's
feel
done.
like that's part of the problem though, because when you have that much placement, it's almost like you play a pretty large role in setting the standard for that genre. So like when you kind of give up, the rap game gets a little fucked up for a little bit.
Well, and this ties into our previous conversation too. There's supposed to be people who come up under you and
Yeah.
lift the bar higher when you let go.
That's true.
That-
fair.
You know, Drake's exact situation. Wayne had a bar set. Wayne had how many accolades? The mixtape fucking king. I mean, just it was Wheezy Mania for fucking ever. And then he introduced Young Money, Nicki,
Yeah.
and Drake. And Wayne is someone who I admire in this respect, he knew he had stars under him, and he sidestepped and let them be the stars that they are. And I don't think you find that in too many artists, these days.
I agree.
Would you look into
sucks.
Drake's like personal social life? It seems like he might be trying to do that with Lil Yachty and Yeet, because he's been hanging out with some of the younger generation rappers a lot more than.
You know,
previous
that's a good
years.
point.
I'm telling you, I think, people are supposed to, again, a generation is supposed to come up under you and,
Yeah, I feel you.
take the trail that you blazed and take it farther. I just think, like I said, I think he's at a certain point where it's like, people are buying my music. I still make tons of money from every album dropping. I can just essentially do and make whatever music I want at this point. I'm not, regardless of the whole Kenny situation, I'm not in competition with these cats. I'm in a completely different stratosphere, financially wise and, success wise and whatnot. I mean, and the same goes for, Kendrick too, not to, discredit what he's done. He's got a Pulitzer Award. Not many fucking people do that, especially hip hop artists.
He has an album being studied at Harvard.
Yeah.
Like
These are, great accomplishments. I appreciate the fact that it seems like Kendrick wants to trailblaze more and push it farther and whatnot, but I just don't think Drake is in that mind state, which I can't discredit him for after having the run that he had.
that's fair.
And again, I'm a Drizzy stan. Sorry,
Stan.
always fighting for the OVO God, Six God. But I'm not above seeing flaws or problems with things.
I got you. I know it's interesting. I think this conversation ties back into the whole beef itself between Drake and Kendrick. Because to me, that's why I'll never have the same respect for Drake personally. I'm sorry if this hurts your soul.
Oh no, you're fine.
I'll never have the same respect for Drake as I do for Kendrick. Due to the fact that like Kendrick reaches this space, and rather than being like I just respect the mindset. It's like rather than like I am top dog, no pun intended. I'm here now. I'm just gonna chill. Who's gonna touch me? Kendrick gets to this position and he's like, I want to try to change the world. He's like, I want to do something. Like he's like, I want my life to mean something like that transcends my material shit. And I don't know. For me personally, that's the type of artistry I'm into, and like especially with like certain levels of activism of which Kendrick participates in. I think that that's rooted in hip hop's inception, and I do think that in that way, Drake and Kendrick are the antithesis of each other. But I think like if trying to be as objective as possible, I do believe that both of those figures have a place, and I just think it's a natural thing that's going to happen in society when you have people who consume media. You're going to have both of those things at all times, like the
Yeah,
yin
for
and
sure.
yang. And so I feel like I feel like I have appreciation for both of those things. Although, like I said, Kendrick.
Yeah,
a whole
and
different type of
that's
thing.
to be admired too. It's like you get to the mountaintop, and it's like, okay, now I want to grow wings and fucking fly. I'm not done yet, which is to be admired. Keep that hunger. But at the same time, I admire the guy who checked off everything on his list and knows that he's okay now.
Yeah.
He did what he wanted to do.
It's true.
I agree with you. I think there's greatness to be found in both of those things. I'm really excited to hear Kendrick response to this
for
track
sure.
though.
Same, man. Because what are you gonna say?
Needs to bring back that old Kendrick sound. He just needs to go ballistic. Just let loose on him.
Yeah, he's. I mean, when you listen to like that Baby Keem song, "Family Ties," things like that. Like lately, since he's left Interscope, it seems like he's been a lot more blatant in terms of his feelings towards other people, to say the least. I don't imagine it'll be a control type thing where he's like pinning these crazy metaphors and just being like, I can rap better than you. I really feel like he's gonna be like, I will hurt you, like if like it really comes down to it. And like I feel like it's gonna be a completely different side of Kendrick personally.
I feel you.
Yeah. I would hope it doesn't escalate to actual, violence between
I highly doubt
the
that.
two camps. It shouldn't. I mean, again, you guys are grown men. Keep it on wax. That's where it started. Let's keep it there.
And hypothetically, like, you don't know that Drake and Kendrick aren't just kicking it, and they know that they are the yin and yang of the mainstream rap scene. So they're like, yo, let's just get everybody's attention. Because, like, we're on this small podcast talking about it. The whole fucking
Snow God says it's a ploy.
You don't
Kenny
know.
and Drake are friends. You heard it here first.
I doubt Rick Ross is part of that, because I don't know, that shit between Drake and Rick Ross seemed a little personal.
Seems very personal.
Rick Ross and Drake are eating fucking lemon pepper wings right now, okay?
Hopefully.
How many views did you get on that last story?
Oh, God.
Yeah. That'd be nice. I mean,
I don't know. I think Drake and Kendrick have been in this rap game long enough to be knowledgeable and articulated in the scene, and like they know how to capture people's attention. So maybe if they felt like they needed some extra attention, you never know.
Did we hear I'm not sure if it was an actual leak or if it was AI, the little snippet from Kendrick.
Oh, somebody confirmed it was AI.
Was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think Daylight did.
Yeah.
I was hoping that was real. I love the little shot at Cole in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't remember any of the words.
What'd he say? He fucking, he's like, one rapper's dead and I didn't even have to send a shot back. He killed himself or something like that. Like,
Damn.
yeah.
Whoever wrote that.
Yeah, that's definitely AI. I can't see that getting released.
I don't know. Like I said, I think
Kendrick
Kenny's
said
coming
some
for
shit
blood
like
in
that
the
before.
tracks. Yeah.
Whoever wrote that though definitely needs to
Spit it with
some
your own
shit
voice.
out.
Come
Yeah.
on.
I feel like
making some music.
kind of lame though to use like Kendrick Lamar as a vessel to try and get yourself
Yeah, I
some
feel you.
clout.
The AI shit has been crazy with the artists, especially like during this battle. I mean, it seems like every other minute an AI clip is dropping.
I saw this Moist Critical video about this AI software where you just put in a prompt. Like, you can be like, dark, ethereal, punk rock, and it'll make an entire song. Like, you don't have to write any lyrics. It makes the beat, it makes the vocals. It's a full song.
It's whack.
It's fucking insane. It does lack that human emotion, though. Like, when you listen to the songs, you can tell.
Well, I mean, if you listen closely, there's some lines of that song where it's like indecipherable. It's like, did you go outside and a body could win in my ride? The AI just can't really process a word to put in
But
sometimes.
this is new, so.
It's only gonna get fucking
It's
10
a little
times better.
scary for the music industry as far as small artists like us.
I think it's gonna force though, like, all right, here's my prediction, right? It's gonna bring an underground scene to prominence again, because I do feel like this is what's gonna happen. I think commercial music is gonna be AI generated within the next 10 years, like a lot more of it. But I think that there's gonna be like a massive rebellion towards that, obviously, in terms of like artists and people who like are like the way a lot of people feel about that shit. So I think that ultimately it will create a divide once more. Like, I'm indie, I only listen to indie music. Like, it'll be one of those.
to kind of feed into that, there's like in movies and stuff, there's artists who will sign their likeness away. Like Bruce Willis was one who just did it because he was diagnosed with dementia recently. So they took a bunch of 3D scans of his face, and they have a bunch of audio recordings from all the movies he's been in. I'm sure they had him, lay down lines and stuff before it started hitting.
Be an AI actor,
right? Do we think that artists will start doing the same thing and like sell their voice?
Oh yeah,
essentially.
I definitely think so.
Their voice likeness. That way, we can hear, Kenny and Drake songs 100 years from now, essentially, and they're new songs, but completely AI generated in their voices.
100%.
Yeah,
I don't think Kendrick would do
it.
that, but I definitely could see Drake doing that shit. And I think like that's already. It's just like taking like the ghostwriter shit, like because a lot of people do that, even if they're not right away, fucking having the entire song be AI generated with the fake voice. Even like currently, there's probably songs written by AI performed by real voices.
I think the Super Bowl performance of the Prince hologram is proof that the masses will eat that shit up, and it's kind of sad. Because people fucked with that Super Bowl performance, and it was like Prince is no longer with us. It was not Prince performing, and people fucking loved it.
Well, you have shit like, what was it, Coachella too, when you had the Tupac?
That was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, and I mean, it looked insane then. I mean, I'm sure the hologram technology's only come fucking so much further than that. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird to think about.
We're in the future.
That raw emotion music is what's gonna break the boundaries.
I hope so, man. Because the fact that we have to decipher whether or not a song is AI already,
yeah,
that shit's sad. That shit upsets my heart.
Yeah. And these clips that people pick out, I mean, it sounds like the person. Yeah. Fucking absolutely crazy.
Shit, we can break into some Reddit segments.
Good shit.
See what we got going on with Reddit on this fine Wednesday evening.
Love to browse some Reddit.
Am I the asshole for having a baby with my best friend? I, 26, female, I assume identifying as such, have a best friend, male, 26. He's gay and married to his partner. I have a husband. We chose not to have kids. My friend and his partner decided to have a baby. My best friend is going to be the donor. Him and his partner asked me if I'd be their egg donor, as they want the baby's mom involved in the baby's life, and mom is in quotes. I was on board. However, when I mentioned this to my husband, he was furious. He said he didn't like the idea of his wife having a baby with another man. I told him we would basically be the baby's aunt and uncle. He said it was not okay, and now he isn't talking to me. So am I the asshole?
So this sounds like they haven't had the baby, because the title made it sound like that was already in the works.
That's true.
But I think that is something that maybe they should talk together as a group about.
I think there's definitely some more discussion to be had for sure.
Yeah, it's not like you have to have sex to be a donor. It's like, I don't know if...
yeah, I'm sure they would use in vitro fertilization.
Yeah.
I mean...
It just sounds like
doing it for like a gay couple. Yeah, I mean, I honestly would probably prefer adoption just because there's already
so many kids
a
in
bunch
the
of
system.
fucking children who could use the help that don't have it and will probably never get it.
Foster home kids go through so much shit, and
That's
so do
fair.
orphanages. I'm gonna put some
But they were
statistics
talking
up
about
here.
their wishes about how they wanted the biologicality in the
which
life.
I can understand that too. You want to know, genetics and stuff. You kind of have a predisposition to if there's going to be any genetic diseases or stuff like that. I think, in her case, she would be doing a huge, huge favor for this couple.
Yeah.
Not many people have friends willing to do that.
That's what I'm saying. She's already willing. It's like...
Yeah, and it's not like they're like, you keep the baby afterwards. It's your baby. You're going to raise it. You have to take care of it. And like, as long as they're paying for, hospital visits, the bills that come in from that,
for sure.
delivery bills, when the baby's delivered
Right.
and whatnot.
Which I assume they would be.
I would certainly hope so. I think there's a lot to talk about, but I don't think you're the asshole. I just think
Yeah, for sure.
you need to discuss this more.
I just think the husband, one, might have a little bit of insecurity. Two, might lack some understanding. And three, this
But-
is a bit selfish considering his wife is okay with it already, but maybe he doesn't want to have to deal with the challenges of having a pregnant wife. But,
Which
I mean,
is-
like,
That's valid too. I mean, there's
Yeah.
a lot that comes with it. I mean, I have a baby. I was with Serena when she was pregnant.
Yeah, I feel you.
There's a lot that goes into it. I mean, there's aches and pains, and you're not really sure what to do. And I mean, there's
Lot of
times where you're
hormonal
like, how do I
changes.
help? Yeah,
I think
So
they
you
just
gotta
all
see it
need
from-
to have a group conversation.
yeah. You just need to talk about it. I don't think he's an asshole for feeling the way that he feels
Yeah.
either.
Well,
I think
He's not talking to her anymore, though.
yeah. Well,
That's a little.
he's the asshole for not talking to her.
selfish. Yeah.
But he has valid feelings. Let's not discredit the way he's feeling. That'd be weird if your significant other was like, "Hey, can I have a baby with another person?"
Yeah, he might be feeling a lot of emotions. He might just be taking some time to ponder on the
Right.
situation.
And we don't know his background. He might not be familiar with situations like this, or
Yeah.
come from a home that was as open as what this other lady, his wife, sounds
That's
like that she
true.
comes from.
I think in terms of monogamy, I definitely understand. This is going to sound bad when I say it, but I understand the feeling of like possessiveness over your significant other. And like, yeah, I do see how a person would feel some sort of betrayal or like borderline infidelity in that sense.
That's fair.
It's just a sensitive subject. It really is, and I just think that with communication, a lot of it could be solved. Communication, the key to the world's problems.
Communication. Pick up the phone, baby.
I would vote not the asshole.
Yeah, these
Not the
comments are written by some uneducated folks.
The top comment says, with 8.6 thousand upvotes, which is by far the top comment.
Redditors.
Sounds like you can either carry this couple's baby or have a husband. Your choice. And so most people agree with that statement. This is new too, 11 hours ago.
that comment has
It doesn't
more
have to be
upvotes
that
than
way,
the
though.
post itself.
It doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah,
That's
it really
true.
doesn't.
The post
This-
has 3,000 upvotes. That comment has 8,000
literally
upvotes.
almost 3 times.
Crazy.
That's fucked up.
It makes me wonder the demographic of people that go on Reddit.
No, I'm already knowing the stereotypical Redditor is just like a. Have you ever seen that South Park episode where Cartman gets addicted to playing League of Legends or World of Warcraft? something
World of
like that?
Warcraft.
Yeah, it's basically that's like the stereotypical Redditor to meme culture.
So, am I the asshole for being disrespectful and telling my parents good luck with that when they try to ground me?
Bro.
Yeah,
Already.
probably.
Yeah,
Probably.
well, yeah.
So context is, I live at home while going to university. I'm in my final year and I have a
Okay,
job
so
lined
that's-
up after I graduate. My parents have been charging me rent since I was 16. I have a small company that makes me about $60,000 a year.
What?
I started it in
How
high
the f-
school. It is one of the
What?
reasons I graduated early from high school and why I got attention from recruiters. My parents said that since I was earning adult money, I could take in adult responsibilities. I thought that was fair. So I paid for all my own stuff starting at age 16. Not university. I got a scholarship and the rent they charged me was minor, $300 a month. But I basically considered my room to be completely mine after that. I kept it tidy because I like it that way, but they had no say in when I cleaned it. When I did my laundry, other than not to do it at a time when I would disturb the family, for example, 3 a.m., I bought food for myself and I ate when I wanted. They tried to say I was separating myself from the family, but I saw it more as having my own schedule. This year, for spring break, I went to Mexico with friends. My parents were upset because they were hosting a big Easter family get-together. When I got back, they said I was behaving badly by not being around for a family gathering. I said it was my last spring break in university and that I was not responsible for their schedule. They said I was grounded, and I laughed and said good luck with that. I went to my room and locked the door. They tried banging on it for my attention, but I'm done. My grandfather came over to talk to me. He is the one who helped me get my company started, and he is always there for me. He said that I was rude
Shut
to my
up.
parents when they were trying to be there for me. I asked him how much rent he charged my mom when she lived at home. He said it was ridiculous to think he would charge his kids rent. I told him that I had been paying rent for 4 years. He went into the house and I heard a fight. When he came out, he said that I need to treat my parents with more respect, but that since they are my landlords, they do not have a say over how I spend my time. I'm avoiding my parents for now, and I'm renting an Airbnb right now until I graduate. I took everything that was important to me, and I left $600 for the last 2 months that I had planned on being there. They keep calling me, but I am currently getting ready to move for my new job. I don't have the energy to deal with them.
So this all started because he didn't want to pay rent to his parents.
Um,
No, this
No,
started
it's-
because because he was basically an adult living an adult life. He was doing his own thing, and his parents.
he wasn't
We're
being
starting to
tied
get
down by
some
the things they wanted to do. They had a family gathering for Easter, but he went to spring break. He pays rent to stay in the house.
This is an adult.
He has his
we
own
are
job.
talking
He
about.
paid for his trip. He paid for everything except his university.
So they're just really controlling and don't want to let him go.
Well, they wanted him to gain financial independence,
Which he
and then
did.
when he did, they were like, actually, let's walk this back a bit.
And he's 20 now, right? If he was 16 4 years ago.
I think I'm not sure. It was kind of.
Okay.
This
yeah.
sounds like
I would assume so, though. Yeah, he's in university, so about
Right.
20 years old.
Okay.
a very educated person who has some parents who feel some entitlement, because I will say they paid for his college and stuff, so like they do have a role to play in his level of education. And it sounds like the grandpa just wants to hold the values of the family together without like causing too much drama.
Which is
Yeah, well,
typically
and it
what
sounds like he
grandparents
wasn't
do.
filled in on everything, too, before he
Yeah.
came over to talk to the grandchild.
Yeah.
At first, I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was about to be different because
Yeah, this sounded like a
I started the business at
14-year-old.
16, and I'm like, okay, like nobody starts a business at 16 on their own. You know, you obviously had some help, but
Yeah, he went into that. He said, my grandpa
Yeah.
helped me, though, so it wasn't even the parents who
exactly.
I was
initially
thinking the
got him
same
started.
thing.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't know. They did a great thing by teaching him, financial independence. It's kind of,
Yeah.
they should have been saving that money and setting it aside for him to buy a house when he graduated from university or
It's
whatever.
true.
And I guess they still could be, essentially. I don't know what their plans are, but yeah, you can't expect you can't give someone that independence and then not expect them to,
Use it.
yeah. It's weird. Not the asshole.
Not the
Yeah,
asshole.
not the
surprisingly.
asshole for sure.
Surprisingly, no. At 16, you start a business. You're making $60,000 a year. Good for you.
I was
You-
about to say it might be some ego that's playing into it from the parents, just like because maybe when they were 20 they weren't doing as well, and so they were like,
It's true.
I'm sure there's
Damn,
ego
my-
coming from the
my
kid
son.
too, because
It's true.
that person
yeah,
is
that's
doing
fair.
Am I the asshole
Yes.
4.
for asking my parents to cut me completely out of their will? I'm the only woman in my family. Okay. That's rough.
You don't have a.
That's a rough time. Besides my mother, obviously.
This subreddit is perfect for victim blamers.
It's true.
What did they do though?
I have 3 older brothers. The youngest of them is not neurotypical due to a TBI as a child. What's a TBI?
I have no idea.
Traumatic brain injury.
Okay.
Okay.
I was thinking something medically, but I was thinking the wrong thing.
My parents are getting older and trying to figure out what to do when they cannot care for my brother. They had us all over for dinner last weekend. They said that they wanted me to sell the house now at a very low price, and in return, I would be responsible for my brother. I've considered this in the past. Not the house, the taking care of my brother. My husband and I would love to have a house instead of never. So I agreed to the proposal. My brother gets a disability check from his settlement, and it's enough to pay for all his wants and needs. My older brothers both got irate and that I would be getting the house and access to my brother's money. It started a huge fight. I ended the fight the most expedient way I could think of. I backed out of the deal. I said that we did not want to be the cause of discord in our family, so instead, I said we wanted nothing from my parents and no responsibility whatsoever for my brother. I said that my other brothers could get all the money and all the work, then I left. I was really disappointed because I know my parents want to enjoy their retirement and I know how to take care of my brother. Now everyone is calling me to say that I misunderstood and that of course I should take care of my brother in his home where he is the most comfortable. I do not want the drama and I'm not changing my mind.
Not the asshole.
Not the asshole.
Yeah, not the asshole, but I feel like some emotions did get the best in some parts.
Of course, but it's like, look, I'm sure this person wasn't worried about. They're like, oh yeah, we would get the house. I'm sure that was their main concern, not whatever's in the house, whatever assets their parents might own, or whatever they have in the bank.
Their disabled brother gets.
Yeah, that I'm hopefully this person was level-headed to be like, me and my significant other just want this house, and if that means we take care of my other sibling and they live there too, that's okay. I'm willing to do that. But then other people come in, they're like, what the fuck? You're getting the house and you're gonna have control over his checks? I'd be like, yeah, okay, you know what? Fuck it. You guys want to deal with the responsibility? Take
fair.
it. I don't back it.
Especially considering this was an agreement between the daughter and the parents too.
Right, yeah. Right. There's a reason the parents went to
like, hey,
that child.
Exactly.
No.
And she said that like she has considered before like taking care of her brother, and like that the house was never even a thing that she had ever considered getting for that.
Yeah.
And so like, I don't know, especially how everybody changed their tone after she's like, y'all can do it. Y'all can have all of it. They're like, actually, we're sorry. We didn't mean it that way. You should take care of it.
Yeah, well, the parents were like, probably, who the fuck's going to give this person showers and fucking, change them when they need changing? If that's, the case. I'm not sure the extent of their
hyperbole
their injury.
Right.
But just like, I'm willing to get nitty gritty taking care of this person. But if you're going to be an asshole, you're going to be the asshole about it, then you fucking do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
And once you realize how much work it is and what you're going to have to do, don't fucking come crawling back, because I was willing to take that load, and now I'm not. Sorry.
Literally. So, not the asshole. I do think that though they probably will end up taking care of their brother.
Yeah, I mean, it just sounds like right now, like Nick said, emotions are just high. Probably got the better of them. But
and I think it was good to set an example. What were you trying to say?
I know, like, not my personal experience, but someone very close to me has had to take care of someone who was like nonverbal, and it's almost like you have to devote your life to give them a life, and it really is fucking hard. So the fact that she was already willing prior to that, it should have already been that she was gonna be the person to do it, because she clearly has the care too.
Yeah, it's a tough thing. I'm a similar situation. I had a coworker who was taking care of his brother for a long time, and his brother had a disability, and he gave up on his dream basically of traveling and doing things he wanted once he retired, and to stay home and fucking take care of his family. Like it's a job that goes unthanked for sure.
100%.
I feel like there should be like pensions for that shit, because they do. Well, I guess they probably get disability. I guess that's in the control of the caretaker. But
you don't get that until
I feel like
they're
that's
an adult.
not enough for sure.
And there's shit that money has to go to.
Sure.
There's
you're taking care of a human. Like, the average human cost is like 40. Well, the average family cost is like 40 bands a year.
And like, let's not forget American fucking healthcare prices. Like a hospital visit.
Oh yeah,
will run you up a whole salary. You know.
You go fucking talk to a doctor, say hi, they send you a fucking $100 bill.
Right. Fuck the American healthcare system.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty. But yeah, not the asshole.
Yeah,
not
for
the
sure.
asshole. Wow.
So hopefully things come around.
Yeah, like Day said too. She had a point saying that this Redditor will probably end up taking care of
for sure
the family member. And I hope that's the case, because it sounds like the reason the parents asked her is probably because she was the most trustworthy and capable of doing it.
The comments are also based.
Yeah, not
your
the
brothers.
asshole.
I want the house. Why is she getting it? You, fine. You have the house and take care of your brother then. Bye. Have fun being a caregiver. Them. Wait, no. Shocked Pikachu face.
But yeah, at least this is the first fucking subreddit where they actually agreed with us.
Hell yeah.
All right, we'll go against the grain sometimes. That's okay.
Yeah.
We have our own takes and our own opinions.
That's the nature of punk rock. What don't you understand, mainstream America?
Straight up.
Straight up.
Well, good shit. I think that's
We had a
fairly suitable.
nice little sesh. Hopefully y'all enjoyed listening. Thanks if you made it
Yes.
this far. We greatly
Couple
appreciate it.
plugs. Listen to the podcast. We got other episodes going on, and that's it. That's all I got.
Have a great rest of y'all's day.
Good shit. This has been the 2020 podcast. Till next time, guys.
yeah.
Peace out.
Peace. Baby,